So let's all stop and think, if the world doesn't end, if the dollar doesn't collapse, and this is just another downturn cycle that we are experiencing, which city will be the next rags to riches town? Not talking about Phoenix or Raleigh or Austin in 2023. I'm talking, who's the next Raleigh in 2009? A city that nobody even really knows the name of or thinks about, and is mostly small, but will explode in growth multiple times over in the coming few decades. Let's also consider some of the things that caused Boomtown over the years: Silicon Valley to tech, Houston to oil, etc. But these new boomtowns are somewhat different, as in many seem to be based in the middle of nowhere and seem to be based in economic ease and political differences, than strategic location solely. And these new boomtowns aren't looking to become a major hub either. These places are fine being second place, a large metro area but not too large. A popular recommendation I keep hearing is the Columbus area and central/eastern Ohio in general. A lot of land has been purchased recently, obviously some of the high-profile ones being Intel and Tesla, and with some research I also found that zoning has changed significantly on the outskirts. A lot of warehouses and industrial. What do you guys think? What criteria do you believe implies the start of a boomtown? And are there any showing signs of this? Is Columbus already too late? Fayetteville/Bentonville, Arkansas. The US is so ugly and artificial. As a European, I really despite the US. Pittsburgh is unironically in slurp season because of that train derailment. Property values insanely low in that area, even really close to the city. Ohio was promising until that train derailment. There's no way they're being honest about how widespread the cloud reached and the long-term effects of it. Shame, because I have a soft spot for C-Bus. Where's Mr. Chicago to shill us Chicago? Since he always makes an appearance in every one of these threads, I might just move to wherever he hates because he shills Chicago so goddamn much. It's going to be much smaller cities, most of which you've literally never heard of. As the US fragments politically/economically, people will be relocating to places that meet more and more specific wants/needs. Look at what is happening in New Hampshire with the Free State Project. That's a good indicator for what will be happening across the country. I grew up going to Asheville/West North Carolina in the summer. Absolutely beautiful place. Downtown Asheville has maybe the best urban fabric of any southern city outside of Savannah or Charleston, the latter of which has really blown up recently. North Carolina as a whole, which has seen massive migration/gentrification in recent years, is also an excellent candidate for HSR. Granted, all of the major cities are in a line. A vacation line with a slower service between Asheville, Charlotte, and the Triad/Triangle would really help with tourism too. NC just needs to get on board with better land use policies, and that state could be the best in the nation. I found a place like this in my own country. Well, really it's just a rural town of less than 10,000, but it's growing fast and it was cheap as heck to move here and plenty of supermarkets to pick from. Keep in mind that you guys have small cities with more people than my country. Can easily see my real estate double in the next decade as more people move here due to the good location, nature, and easy access to both the capital city and a neighboring country with much lower prices. Capital city guys in my country will never know this feeling. Their parking spaces cost more than my entire house with garden. The cheapest, ugliest, most outdated apartment they can get costs twice as much. Birmingham, Alabama. Helena/Billings, Montana. Source? My ass, I've never been to the USA. I think the city paradigm is over. Forget Pittsburgh. Forget cities. Lancaster County is where a lot of PA growth will happen over the next few decades. Eastern PA farms and wilderness have already been transformed into suburbs for Philly and NYC. Lancaster will be next. You can see the wealth there, with farmhouses transformed into modern mansions while still running their farm/dairy/rental business on the property 10 feet away. Those families know everything they own will be worth so much more 1 decade from now. Just buy land or set up a business there and wait. You can get very cheap houses right along the coast in certain parts of Oregon and Washington. You can get an old house on an acre in Coos Bay for around $100K to $150K. Jacksonville, Florida. Plano, Texas. Still relatively cheap. High IQ population and lots of jobs. Chattanooga is booming from what I could tell in my little amount of time spent working in the area. Did some work on the new VW plant they built there. Seems like a lot of industry wants to move to TN due to favorable tax/regulatory structure plus cheap labor. Same with people, as there's no income tax and cost of living is low. Austin has dipped and will reboom when/if the economy comes back. It still has a lot more room to grow. Consider how long it took the big cities to get where they are. Austin will be the pressure valve for SF/NYC/LA for a good long while. Columbia, South Carolina. An affordable city that's between Charlotte and Atlanta without their higher housing prices. Lakeland, Florida. It sits in the center of the state between Tampa and Orlando, right off of I-4. With both cities about to pop off even more than they already have and the space industry just beginning to boom, the city is going to see incredible growth, which early data already suggests. Medford or Klamath Falls, Oregon. Please discuss Canada boomtowns too. There must be some oasis of rest even in this poop hole. Linwood, California. Greensburg, Indiana will be the next hip place should happen by 2030. Darwin, NT, Australia. Gary, Indiana, be greedy when others are fearful. This is the same copy and paste about Ohio from your last thread. No one is interested in crap weather for 6+ months of the years and cities full of joggers. Oklahoma City. I don't have time to read the 70+ replies before me. Kaohsiung, Malacca, Chiang Rai, Siem Reap.